Puzzle and time manipulation have been going strong in the indie community since the release of Braid. However, there haven't been any real advancements in the genre or new elements that require additional skills. Instead of more of the same, developer Unique gives us Timelie, which builds upon the time manipulation feature for a challenging yet approachable puzzle adventure. Timelie has a story that evolves across the game's puzzles. It's not in your face, and much of it is left to the interpretation of the player. The gray areas might leave some players confused for those looking to know more about the characters, but the narrative is merely another puzzle for the player to solve. Players find themselves waking up as a girl who is gifted with the power to reverse and fast forward through time. Across the game's 4 primary levels, players will gain additional abilities that add to the complexity of the puzzle design. Additionally, a mysterious cat ends up joining your party as a playable character. The cat can act as a distraction to lure enemies off the path towards the objective. The developer really understood their puzzle designs and the symbiotic relationship between these two characters. Many of the puzzles require players to skillfully control both for almost split-second actions to get to the goal. Luckily, the power to manipulate time allows for any additional fine-tuning, so when you inevitably do pull it off, it's gratifying. The ease of time manipulation makes mistakes not so frustrating since the game gives you as many chances as you want to try a specific move or strategy. The challenging portions of the game appear when the developers give you a bit more freedom with how you approach the puzzles and where you utilize your abilities. Throughout the game, players can also obtain relics that appear after the level is completed. These give you a reason to return to the game to collect all 15 of them. However, there's no real way of knowing what you need to do in order to get them, but the ones I did receive happened when I seemed to get through the level like a master time bandit. Puzzle designs become more and more involved during each level. However, your understanding of how to manipulate enemies and what you are allowed to do with time also improves. It becomes easier to know the boundaries you can push with the levels and how to use each character to the best of their abilities. There are 4 chapters with an additional 5th chapter unlocked at the end of the game. This last chapter is where the developers take off the gloves and do some genuinely excellent puzzle design. The last series of stages impressed the hell out of me and challenged everything I learned thus far. The graphics are simplistic in presentation, but each stage features its own set of environmental themes. Players can move through the stages using dots on the ground and pretty much stealth their way to the goal. I like the girl's design as well. Even though she doesn't talk, the developers opted to use her body language to express her emotions. One lacking feature was general enemy design, since there is only one enemy encountered in the game. Even though they are used in fun ways throughout each stage, I would have liked to be challenged by maybe an enemy who could shoot or one that calls other enemies. Music design is brilliant, and the developer knew precisely when to introduce some lo-fi sounds into the game to build on the moment. It isn't prominent in every stage, which makes the stages that it does show up in a bit more intense. The game takes about 5 hours to get through, which makes the pacing feel like a short and sweet experience overall. Timelie is an approachable time manipulation adventure that only borders on the line of overly complicated or too straightforward. It strikes a perfect balance with its mechanics and even introduces unique elements into the formula that make it stand out in the genre. The open narrative and lack of enemy types leave a bit to be desired, but this is one of the best time-based puzzle games that I've played in years. Noisy Pixel is giving Timelie an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.